Hello everybody, my name is Jennifer and my partner Elena and I are going to be talking to you about teacher shortage and retention. So in this first section we're going to be talking about teacher shortage, which is an area of specific grade, subject matter, or discipline classification or geographic area in which the secretary determines that there is an inadequate supply of elementary or secondary school teachers. So before we get started, go ahead and pause this video and write down what you think are the biggest factors causing the teacher shortage. So you can take some more time if you'd like, but I think that's kind of a big issue because for every person, there's going to be a different reason. So some of the big issues we're seeing right now are economy and the tight job market. So unfortunately, we're unable to pay teachers what they want to be paid. And for some of the jobs or most of the jobs that people want, there's going to be about 100 applicants for every one position. The increased number of students, so having to meet that demand, and the quality of students that we're getting. So students are a lot smarter than a lot of the teachers now, when unable to keep up with them technologically. So just trying to work with that. The salary. So the salary is not that great if you're entering as a beginning teacher at about $30,000 with no credentials or anything. And then a cost to just get into a program is going to be a couple hundred, with your program being several tens of thousands on top of that. So kind of weighing those isn't really the best financial decision for many people. And then a lot of teacher programs, unfortunately, aren't the best for preparing their teachers for really being able to teach the content that they signed up for. So if you're unable to feel comfortable in the position you're in, you're probably not going to stay very long. Personnel management and working conditions, so the way teachers are treated in the schools that they're set up in. So are they clean? Is there clean water? Are people nice? When was the last time that it was deep cleaned? Is there clean water? Do you feel comfortable there? Is it healthy? Admin support. So is your administration really looking at you as a teacher and how you're making a better life and future for your students, or are they just kind of keeping you there because you're a good teacher who's able to give them the test results that they'd like? People retire and have personal issues, so those are some things that you're going to see in any profession, as well as burnout and high stakes testing. So this is becoming a factor because of the way that teachers are evaluated based on student performance on high-stakes testing. Unfortunately, we're being expected to teach content that we know that we should have mastered before our teaching program. And although we are expected to stay current and stay on top of it, our focus then turns into how to be a better teacher and how to create lesson plans and how to teach students how to be good students. And that kind of loses your content, kind of gets put on the back burner for a little bit, but it's still really important, as we all know. And high stakes testing is something that most teachers and students know isn't the best way to evaluate. Unfortunately, it still is. So in the United States, there has been a teacher shortage, not in every subject or state, but since 1990. If you follow this link here, it will take you to a page that looks similar to this. The teacher shortage areas nationwide listing for 1990 to the 2017 school year. So scrolling down, or scrolling to California, we see that the highest need in 1990 were for bilingual education, life science, and physical sciences in K through 12. And as you look through this, you'll see that bilingual education stays, science and physical sciences, but then it starts to change throughout the years, and you see reading, music, foreign language, industrial arts, drama, math, humanities, and different things up until 2017. These are the current areas of need, or last year's current areas of need. So it's expected that the United States will hire an estimated 2 million new teachers within the next 10 years, which is a lot. Our students are unfortunately negatively affected by this because of the turnover, the teacher stability or instability exposed to the students, and the inexperienced teachers. So yes, being able to fill the classrooms is great, but at what cost and which quality of teachers are we producing at such a quick rate? States are now offering incentives to teachers for, especially if you're at a Title I school, or even having your induction program taken care of. A lot of school districts still aren't doing that, unfortunately, so having that extra perk for new teachers is really nice. There's also a private sector and fast track programs. One specifically is Teach for America. And there has been an extensive growth for these type of programs. They're based outside of the university settings, and they are more designed for schools in under-resourced areas to offer approaches that are based with technology and different educational pedagogies. In the state of California, our highest areas of need are special ed teachers, EL teachers, and teachers in low-income areas in large cities. What we are doing to combat this is shortening time restrictions for high-need areas, such as science and math. I know specifically if you are wanting to be a math teacher and you're able to find a place in a teacher internship program, you can find a job almost immediately out of high school, which is great in many aspects, but then it can be argued not so great. Also, I know that if you are a teacher outside of California, it was previously that you needed to work in another state for 3 years, and now they have lowered it down to 2. Some of the proposals for the governor for the 18-19 school year are kind of exciting. So this is what the budget looks like. And so some of the some of the proposals that he's discussing are $3 billion to finish the LCFF, $5 million to assist local schools in identifying needs with low-performing students groups, $6.5 million in new state agencies for student performances, $100 million to recruit and train new special ed teachers, and more to improve the usefulness of the school dashboard. So reading through that, there are a couple of really exciting things that could happen in the next year. Hopefully they do. And then when talking to a teacher, when interviewing a teacher on her thoughts on the subject, she's been a teacher since 1998 and was hired on an emergency credential. So there was a need for teachers back then. What she's seeing a lot of teachers leave for are teacher burnout. So they're just feeling that they've been there for too long. They're tired. They've been doing the same thing over and over. So kind of an idea to combat that is taking a year off, taking a sabbatical, and seeing if that can change their outlook, which could be nice if it's allowed. Teachers are also being required to teach more than content, but based on content. So kind of what we talked about before. A lot of teachers are expected to raise students, which can be so rewarding, but also very tiring. The trends in education are shifting, the technology is evolving. So being able to keep up with those things and properly educate our students with everything that they're capable of doing as well. And then testing, just another thing we talked about previously. So requiring your teachers to lose class time because of testing, but then knowing that testing is largely irrelevant because the tests get thrown out. For example, we've had the high school exit exam, No Child Left Behind, and STAR testing are just examples of things that were really big in education, and now they're kind of useless. We're not really seeing at all anymore. Another issue is that there's too much emphasis on big business in education, which can be frustrating for students. And my partner, Elena, is going to take this away and talk to you guys more about teacher retention.